You know, I kind of thought that Junie would download the Warden so we could get that AI. I'm wondering if maybe if we came here later, because it feels like the events in this game sometimes feel like change depending on the order you go in them or on other factors. Like, she mentioned that if we had gotten the original ship mined on the tutorial station that exploded, she would have been able to find that place faster. So I guess it would have sped up whatever timer it takes before that fires and she tells us where it is. I don't know. Maybe if we had gone elsewhere and gotten some tech upgrades or something, we'd have downloaded the Warden. Because we've got the Overseer with us. I feel like we might be able to accumulate a bunch of AIs. Anyway. Lost moment. And I feel sad for Warden. Sitting there for basically 10,000 years. With nobody around. It's, oof. Oof. No, I can't really hold it against her when first people she sees again say they're not coming back. It's just kind of, yeah, I'm shutting this facility down. Fuck this. Serpent settles the rig at Holm's Rock, the old Solheim arrays glinting in the sun. Looking out at the station, you suddenly remember the model Junie gave you. You take it out of your pocket. Seeing it in full light, you notice it's made from cast metal, surprisingly detailed and robust looking. Well, you look at that. Seraphin glides over. It's a mini rig. You let him take it. He turns it over in his hand, looking at it. What a find. He gazes at the model ship. What are you gonna do with it? Put it on your console. Really? Seraphin grins. Well, we could do that for sure. He looks at the model for another moment and pats you on the shoulder. Good call. Everyone can enjoy it then. He takes the model and glides it over to his console. I'll get it sorted. He turns back, smiling. Gonna look great. Sleeper? Junie puts a hand gently on your shoulder. You turn to see her smiling, a rare smile. Thank you for going out on a limb for me. I know that wasn't the most profitable job, but what we found, I've been thinking about it for, well, ever. I managed to extract some data that you can use. I'm going to search through everything we pulled out from that bunker. Junie looks down. I want to show you it was worthwhile. It was worthwhile. She nods. I'm glad you think so. I'll also start seeing where to find the kind of tools I need to work with data like this. Her smile is fading already, replaced by a familiar, determined stare. You can't let it go to waste. My deck is not going to be enough. Darkside might be our only option. The biggest remaining Solheim facility in the belt. He sighs. I'll look into it. Either way, thanks for bringing me with you. I'm glad to be part of this. The smile returns. For as long as you'll have me. He looks away nervously. And then, before he can respond, he is gone. Off to find a corner of the ship where she can dig through the data she pulled from the past in order to build a better future. Damn! Right. Reroll dice cannot be a 1. Like that. You know what? We got a whole bunch of Solheim data. Let's go ahead and empty this out. See if it triggers something or if it just turns off. Who knows? Maybe we'll find another use for rare components, and the fact we have a giant stockpile will help. Nope, it's just empty. Okay. Well, I can spend a little cycle doing a bit of work here. Have them source supplies while we do work. Time to work it, work it. Debugging them arrays. Lame. Nice. Lame. Right. Let's make sure. Let's get our food. And we need to buy. Let's buy fuel. And cycle. One more round of doing stuff. Go ahead and buy supplies. Nice that we've rebuilt our cash stockpile. Nice, nice, nice. Better person to scavenge fuel. And we are going to head to Wellspring. And let's go find Seraphin's sister. Let's go! Seraphin! The shout echoes through the ship, reaching you in the cockpit. See the angle of Seraphin's head change. It does not respond otherwise. You hear that? Seraphin sighs. Yes, I heard. Looks back at you. About to go see what they want. Go investigate. Go unstrap from your seat and glide out of the cockpit. Oh, I accidentally clicked twice. You run into Bliss in the corridor. Where's Seraphin? He's got to be the guilty one. They look impatiently over your shoulder. Bliss shakes their head. Come on, you need to see this. You follow the irritated Bliss through the ship, down into the cramped storage units tucked between the main ship and the hull. As you enter, you're greeted by total chaos. Amber globs of liquid ration float in the air and cling to the walls, while chunks of dried food spin slowly, breaking into crumbs. See? Bliss fumes. Someone opened one of the supply crates and left it like this. They point to a crate in the storage netting with the lid pushed open. You look at the mess spilling from the crate. Who could have done this? Inspect the remains. You take a moment to pick through the food. Find a torn open pouch of liquid rations. Turn it in the light and see a set of evenly spaced gashes on the edge. Looking at the chaos, it's hard to imagine a person doing this, especially one of your crew. Bliss puffs out their cheeks. I need a break from this ship. They look at you. Help me tie this up. Oh no, we have a stowaway. There's an alien on the ship. Spend the rest of the journey packing the crate away, disposing of the spoiled supplies. But as you do, you can't help but wonder what actually happened here. When you're finished, take one last look around the storage bay. As you gaze around the now cleared space, you have the same feeling of being observed by unseen eyes as you felt in the tunnels of Holm's Rock. Ah shit, they followed us! As he brings the ship into Wellspring's docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Seraphin's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while the docking bridge extends. And a proximity alarm goes off. He curses under his breath. Relax, it'll be okay. Back to ship 100 times, sleeper. He keeps his eyes on the monitors. I am relaxed. That's not what I mean. Seraphin doesn't respond, but you see him grip the rig's controls a little tighter. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connected, you lean forward and look out of the cockpit windows. Try to get a good view of the icy surface of Wellspring below. A harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut, the asteroid's one city. It glows and steams with warmth, and peering down into it, you cannot see the bottom. Beyond, along the horizon, you see the terraces of the fifth head, where the current extraction effort must be taking place. Seraphin runs the shutdown sequence and unclips from his seat. He turns back to you, a flinty look in his eye. We're gonna head down to the cut. Got a few leads to follow up on. You get the sense he isn't asking for permission. Let me help. You can check out the city if you want, but I'm not following along, sleeper. This is my trail to follow. Before you can respond, he pushes past and glides out of the cockpit. You turn and watch as he pushes past Bliss in the doorway. I missed something? Bliss shoots you a look. He seems even more irritable than usual. He's looking for his sister. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Family trouble? That'll explain the irritation levels. I would recommend. They zip up their jacket. We go after him before he pushes past someone that pushes back. Agreed. See you down there. At least Lane's unlikely to come here to pick a fight with the Lodic Syndicate. Bliss shrugs. They turn and head towards the airlock, whistling softly as they do. I'll wait with the ship. Junie's voice echoes through the thin interior wall of the corridor. I've got archiving to catch up on. He pauses. Nothing older than 1,000 cycles on that snowball anyway. Yeah, Junie only care. You gotta add another 0 on there if Junie's gonna care. 1,000 cycles? Pfft, might as well be a toddler. Everyone knows shit if that's 1,000 cycles old. Not even a proper ruin. Wellspring, the base of the Lodic Syndicate. As you look out across its icy sea surface, you remember Malik, the captain whose ship you saved, for whom you surveyed the ice asteroid. You also remember how that job went. I wonder if Malik was able to negotiate a release of the Springtide, his ship, or if he still resides on the far spindle. You hope it's the latter. If you doubt, you will be best pleased if your paths cross once more. You sigh. At any rate, without a pilot, doesn't look like you'll be leaving on so soon. Time to see Wellspring. I thought I had a quest to help them somehow out here. Oh well. The rig, the cut. Whee! The pit head. Well, I don't have a Lodic pass. I guess we're gonna be doing this. Act like a local. Hack Lodic columns. Sure. Damn! Success, baby! Nice. Alright, we got a depot. Go ahead and fill up our fuel. Set this to scavenge supplies. Buy a meal, hot water shift. We have a whole bunch of ones. I'm not going to jinx it. We're just going to end the cycle. Hey, welcome to the Ziggurat. I hope you enjoy your time here. Not there. Need to do some more haxing. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the belt's water. Bliss looks across the cutwater at the workers in their distinctive yellow gear. No wonder the Syndicate runs it like a corporation. You look at those gathered in the low-ceilinged bar, gathered around cushioned couches and low magnetic tables, their voices bouncing off the metal walls. All of them wear Lodic clothing, mark of their status as contractors for the belt's most powerful syndicate. You look back to Bliss, who's watching another group, quietly discussing something serious in the opposite corner. I don't like it one bit. Bliss turns back to the bar and sips their drink through its metal straw. The contractors seem happy right now. They glance at you. But maybe you'll use the yard when their shift's done for the day. I've been looking around Chasm Row, searching out components in the markets. Down there, people don't seem too happy. Bliss meets your eye. There's a lot of talk of contracts. Since Lodic's been locking down its workers, giving the war in the inner systems as an excuse. They play with their metal straw, swirling the orbs of liquid in their sealed glass. The pressure is building, Sleeper. We shouldn't hang around here much longer. Problem is, we have no pilot. Well, Bliss raises an eyebrow. Sounds like I'm not the only outsider who's been hanging out in Chasm Row. I heard someone complaining about a rude young man asking too many questions. Bliss smiles. Who else could that be? They laugh. That's the place to start if you want to find our boy. They said he was asking about the Rhyme Market. I have no idea where that is. Bliss looks out across the bar. Definitely a touchy subject for the locals. I'm not in a rush. Me neither. Bliss swirls their straw. Drinks here are pretty good. Something's coming. Trust me on that. You leave the Cutwater, shouldering your way through a crowd of boisterous contractors. There's a conspiratorial mood to the conversations now that Bliss has mentioned it. You wonder what all the talk is about. You feel the sudden cold as you leave the steaming bar and enter one of the icy passages, cut into the asteroid itself. All this water in the hands of a single syndicate. Something goes wrong here, the belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up the collar of your jacket against the cold and head for Chasm Row. Hey, I am doing pretty good. I hope your evening is swell as well. Ooh, you can do different rotations. Okay, where is the cut? Chasm Row. Find the Rhyme Market. A hidden rhyme in time. Ooh, some knitting? Nice. What you making? I'm always a big fan of scarves. I feel like I don't get an often enough opportunity to use them. A beanie? Some head pro is always good as well. I need to get a new beanie. Like, my current one isn't really comfortable. It's also kind of small. I think it shrank in the wash. Blue, pink, and white. Nice, nice. Just in time. Bride do be coming up soon. Wow, just a week away. Less than a week, actually. Almost like it's a couple days. Markets of Chasm Row have become familiar in the past cycles. Their steaming, orange-lit depths, persistent condensation on each unit's windows, the gleam of the amber workers' suits, each contributing to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. But among this, you've noticed other details too. The freelance crews on the hunt for illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light flickering up through the floor grates, suggesting ever deeper layers. These are the details you have followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones, in dimly lit rooms. And, as you drift towards what you know to be one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. A large, dark bundle glides out of the door and impacts the metal wall of the passage with an echoing bang! But your eyes are drawn by the imposing figure that hovers in the doorway, bracing himself on the frame. "Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat!" The man sends an orb of spit spinning after the bundle. The bundle unfolds and you suddenly recognize Seraphin, winded but straightening up to go back for more. "No, Seraphin, stop! You're getting the shit beat out of you!" "No, I fucked up!" You hesitate, seeing the hard anger brewing in Seraphin's eyes, and you reach him a moment too late. He catches you as he kicks off from the wall with a swinging fist, sending you reeling back while he smashes into the man. The two fumble in a flurry of blows, slamming into the doorframe until the man gets his legs between him and Seraphin, kicks him into the wall. Seraphin hits hard and floats away, a few crimson bubbles of blood drifting from the bust lip. You square up to the man, gliding across the passageway until you're in striking distance. "Who is this? Another rat who needs a lesson in minding their own business?" He cracks his knuckles. As the anger rises in you, a hand falls on your shoulder. "What are you doing here, sleeper?" Seraphin pushes you aside. "I told you, this is on me." "Oh, you are beaten, rat," the man calls out, It's time to go home and lick your wounds. Serapent exhales in frustration, his anger fading, replaced by the stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood form at the bottom of his nose. Want to explain what's happening? For the record, the man folds his arms. This one started it. Looks between the two of you, snooping around here or meeting like a rat. You see his sharp eyes recalculating the situation since your arrival. What's it, snooping? I'm looking for someone. Serapent glares. You'd taken a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch. Maybe you would have got that. The man scratches at his beard, squinting at Serapent. Say I believe you. What were you doing at the meeting then? Missing persons ain't our business. All I heard is this is where the loaded contractors meet. Serapent sighs. I don't like you hearing that. Not at all. And I'm going to need to ask you who told you that later. He straightens up. But yeah, this is where the contractors meet. As if that's anything to you. The person I'm looking for is a contractor. Serapent's frustration rises again. She uses the cover name Lutz. He pauses, a desperation entering his voice. Please, I think she might be my sister. Nothing changes in the man's stance. He holds up a massive hand to silence Serapent and looks down the passage in both directions. Not here. He retreats to the door. Get in. As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind, spinning the locking wheel with one hand. I'm Kirk. He grunts, pointing at himself with a thick thumb. Contractors are my concern, but if Lutic catches discussing contracts out there, he shakes his head. He turns and leads you down the passage. You pass an open door, and you glance inside to see a group gathered in a circle, all of them in workers' clothes. They're speaking in hushed tones. One of them exchanges a nod with Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glares playfully at Serapent, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side of a massive vertical metal pipe, with a rough hole cut in the side. He beckons you both inside. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly, you come out through the ceiling of a wide and low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stalls and makeshift shelters dot the grilled floor, lit by scavenged lanterns and light strips. Steam drifts up through the grates, concealing the room so you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Ryan Market. Kirk gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle interior. Lotic don't know about this place. He smiles. Let's get a drink. He leads you off to a nearby stall with a set of improvised stools welded to the floor in front. He hooks his legs into one, and you and Serapent follow suit. He holds up 3 fingers to the stall's owner, and a drink in a straw-pierced packet is handed to each of you. Serapent looks skeptically at the drink. You friends now or something? Look. Kirk takes a sip. I'm not going to apologize for putting you on your ass. That's on you. But like I said, I represent the contractors. If somebody is part of the family, well... He shrugs his massive shoulders. They deserve to be heard out at least. Okay, this is Serapent's game. Let's let him speak. Enough. You know, Lutz. I saw it in your eyes. Serapent glares at him. Where is she? Where is she? Joker, where's Lutz? Describe her. Kirk leans back on his stool. I'm not giving you anything more until you prove she's your sister. Okay, this feels like a question he should have asked before leading us into this secret market at all. Serapent closes his eyes. Dark hair. Used to wear it long and messy. Bright eyes. Broad shoulders. See a little twitch around his eyes as he recalls. Tough but kind. Tattoos. Nervous laugh. He opens his eyes and glares at Kirk. That enough? Kirk sniffs. Yeah, that's her. Feels something jump in Serapent. An almost imperceptible tension rising. It's her. His sister. Lutz. Kirk speaks slowly, drinking between. Or whatever her real name is one of the contractors here. She's part of the recent contracts Lutic registered. That means... Just tell me where she is. Seraphin demands, his impatience getting the better of him. As I was saying, Perk gives Seraphin a pointed look. Those new contractors are restricted to the pit head. In fact, that is what we are discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Seraphin looks away in frustration, but holds his tongue. Since the war, the Lotic Syndicate has been trying to lock down Wellspring. They went from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy, started enforcing contracts with some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister is on one of those contracts. Lotic are acting like they own her and the others, because according to their contracts, they do, which is exactly what we want to do something about. This cycle, he forcefully taps the bar with a finger. We are voting on a strike action, the full blockade of Flotsam. We will bring the Syndicate to the table too. Seraphin knocks his drink away, kicks off from the table, disappearing into the market. What? What are you throwing a temper tantrum for, bud? Flashback television? What? I don't think Night Rain is a trash TV. Welcome on by, y'all. I don't know how long you were streaming, but streaming is hard work. So at the very least, I hope you can stand up, wiggle around, leave a piss, take a water, you know. I would recommend grabbing your water from someplace different than you piss. I would say some like nice filtered water, just that refreshing, crisp, cool liquid, but like that's personal preference, really. If you don't know me, I am Dreki Ormer, Draconic Serpent, Flightless Dragon, or simply Worm on the internet. We are playing Citizen Sleeper 2. The sink pit. Don't piss in the sink. No, don't do it. Look, everybody thinks the sink is an alternative toilet until the time you accidentally turn on the garbage disposal when you do it. And let's just say, boy, howdy, can that piss shower everywhere. But yes, Citizen Sleeper 1 was a fantastic game. Number 2 has been really interesting so far. I like how they're still working in their design space. They've changed things up. The stakes feel a little bit higher. We kind of had like a really bad start. I've had some really bad luck, but we're fucking limping along. And it looks like we're about to get involved in a strike. So, down with the corporations. Let's do this. If you've never played or heard about Citizen Sleeper, the sequel is following a different character, although we run into a couple familiar people from the first game. So you're not going to be spoiled on the first game, at least anything I've found so far. And I would say we're still probably in the early game, maybe in the mid of this game, but it's basically a bit of a sci-fi setting, a bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a cyberpunk, because usually cyberpunk is purely like dystopia situation, and it's certainly like the corporations are in a dystopia side, but it's a bit more, it's got more of a optimistic tint to it. It's a bit more people coming together and helping each other. It's a bit more positive, despite being in a dystopic situation, if that makes sense. Because like as a sleeper, the corporations basically own our body. We get the name sleeper because we signed away our body into debt and we're asleep, and then our mind was copied and put into a robot body that the company owns and works to make money that we pay off our debt with. And we all know a corporation wouldn't lie or do anything to grow that debt to keep us permanently forever in indentured servitude. No. That's definitely why, you know, the bodies will fall apart unless we keep taking stabilizer, the drug that the company makes to make sure we stay with them. Definitely not any kind of like hormone or trans allegory at all going on in there either, you know. Into the no, Chamber, don't do it! No! Ah! Bleh. I'm dead now. Bleh. 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 Gotta cover me in my death shroud. Bleh. Damn, disrespecting my corpse by throwing a hot dog on me? Rude. Absolutely rude. No subtext at all. No! Subtext is for cowards! What's going on? Thanks for the mana. It will go to powering our defenses, aka paying artists for stuff, because artists are cool and I do this for sillies and fun. But yes, we just got to this place and Seraphin's sister has been located, except she's in a terribly exploitative contract. Touchback, if you got a raid and run, that is no scale off my tail. Thanks for bringing your people on by. Seraphin knocks his drink away and kicks off from the table, disappearing into the market. Let's stay with Kirk. Kirk watches Seraphin go with a disappointed look in his eyes. Your friend will go to the Lodic Syndicate. I know it. He sips from his drink. They won't help him there. Kirk's bright eyes meet yours. The Syndicate will do nothing for him or you. Trust me. I want to help you, Sleeper. I want to help your friend, but I need your help in return. Sure, I'll help the movement. Good. Kirk nods. I knew you would. Kirk places a plastic pass card into your hand. It glints with the mark of a Lodic Syndicate. Blurry ID photo laminated into its transparent interior. This will get you into the pit head. You can see for yourself what's happening there. Don't follow your friend to Lotic. Go to the pit head. Find Lutz yourself. He meets your eye. When you do, come back to me, and we can discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. If you go to Lotic, if you meet with them, I can't help you. He releases your forearm and drifts back into the crowd, disappearing into the steam and darkness. You catch up with Seraphin in the bustle of the Rhyme Market, among the steam and crowds. I can't have been the only one who saw this pitch coming a mile off! Seraphin is bristling with anger. What kind of idiots does he think we are? Is that what you think this is about? It's about getting my sister out of whatever mess she's gotten into. Seraphin starts to push through the crowd towards the exit tunnel. We need to speak to Lodic. Forget these clowns. He shoves his way forward. We don't need to get tied up in this. We just need to get her out. Where's your solidarity, Seraphin? They are comrades. The workers must unite. Seraphin forges on ahead. You get caught in the crowd behind him. As he disappears from view, curse his impatience. You float there for a moment, buffeted by passing people, clutching onto the Lodic Pass, trying to decide what to do next. Well, we have a pass now. We can get into the Lodic operations. Multi-pass. Oh wait, that's negotiate a meeting. Pit head. There we go. Multi-pass. Access granted. New location discovered. Hey, I don't need to sneak a meal. I mean, that's nice, but we can do that anyway. Let's look for Lutz. Ow. Can't believe we lost some energy. Wow, 3 1s. Amazing. Let's get rid of our stress that we have. Nice. Actually, I could get rid of stress that easily. Ow. Okay. We eats. Alright, 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 alright. Despot shift, the cut water, buy a meal. There we go. Going to the pit head. Might be able to find her this cycle. Ow. Alright, maybe not. Damn. Damn. Well, that's balls. Buy some more food. Apparently I'm a klutz. That's okay. Got some big bada boom numbers. The shaft descends towards a sump in the depths of the pit. Here, the air is freezing cold. To prevent the ice from melting into globules of floating water. If your breath carried water, you'd be able to see it in the air. But the absence of steam in each exhalation only serves to remind you of your own strangeness. Not that anyone else notices. The workers' heads are low, their eyes fixed on their work, shuttling chunks of ice and tools up and down the shaft. At the end of the nearby tunnels, you see the bright sparks of ice cutting in progress. Slabs hanging in the air, and what in that strange way they do in 0G. Some loose memories of the time before Darkside, before Lane, before freedom come to your mind. The familiarity of the cold, the sparks, the endless toil. It chills you more than the packed ice on either side of you ever could. You reach the bottom of the shaft, a metal grill marking the terminus. It squeals as you push open the barred door setting into it. The safety lights flicker on, lighting up glittering ice particles all around in their hard beams, as if all the stars are held here in this cavern. As your eyes adjust, the massive space comes into focus. It seems to have no up or down, just countless dark shafts and terraced pits cut into its side. All around, silhouetted by their work lights, contractors cut and haul, gather. This is where those locked-in workers are being held, caught in a contract clause that permits an endless shift. Damn, it's an infinite clopen. The atmosphere is grim. At the center of the cavern floats a construction of welded together habitation units. A heavy twist of cables stretches from this improvised structure past you and up the shaft behind, tethering it to a central power source. On each of the 6 sides of this strange apartment block, a set of struts project outward, bracing the construction against the cavern walls. The block itself is wrapped in insulation, clad in protective plates. It glows with small apertures and lights. You approach the nearest entrance. Everything is bitten by rust, by decay. If the bars on the entrance weren't clear enough, indicator, it is obvious now that this place is a prison. The door scissors open, letting out a blast of warm air. You quickly duck inside and it seals rapidly behind you. The cramped interior passage glows warmly. but its ragged condition keeps it from feeling cozy. You follow the corridor, ducking beneath hanging wires and loose insulation. This is where you're told you'll find Lutz, or whatever her real name is. You come out into a communal mess. Counters and food preparation units fitted into the walls, cushioned stools and couches scattered around. A couple of contractors are stretched out in the space, one of them snoring loudly in the corner, another sipping from a food packet on a stool. Suddenly, the door on the far side opens out to the cavern, letting in a flurry of ice shards that quickly become scattered orbs of water. You watch the figure as they glide into the warm light of the interior, with their dark hair and bright eyes. You know, this is who you're looking for. You meet eyes with hers. Something sparks in that dull and cloying room, as if she recognizes you. Slaper? She looks in a haze, her hair stuck to her forehead with sweat, her eyes still adjusting to the interior. I've been looking for you. You, what? She squints. You see her scan you, taking in your clothes, the way you hold yourself, your face. For a moment, you feel exposed, aware of your damaged vinyl skin, your industrial markings, your doll-like features. You feel the familiar sense of being objectified, but also something warmer below it, the recognition of what you are. She blinks, exhales, and shakes her head, realizing she is mistaken. Give me a sec, all right? Just finished cutting 100 cubic meters of ice. She pulls back her hood. Haven't seen you down here before. They just contract you or something? The tension drops, but you get the feeling she isn't quite looking at you. She crosses to a food unit and pulls out a packet, slotting it into a warmer. She thumbs it on. First sleeper I've seen in a long while. She doesn't take her eyes off the slowly warming food. You'll do okay down here. Know you folk are tough. Stick with the job. That's good. Rest I can show you once I've eaten. She laughs a little to herself. I'm with your brother. My brother? She pauses, her eyes not leaving the warmer. I think you have me confused with someone else. You're not listening. She turns to face you. You see a wet shine to her eyes. What are you going on about? You realize what you need to tell her. Serpent is on Wellspring. The warmer chimes to let her know the food packet is ready. She doesn't seem to notice. Seraphin? She takes a ragged breath, then steadies herself. Here? Not here, at the cut. She nods, and then shakes her head. Well, if he trusts you with his name, guess I should trust you with mine. She comes closer. I'm Tyler. She smiles a warm smile. Now where's my idiot brother? I'll take you to him. She laughs nervously. Sorry, this is not what I was expecting on my lunch break. Tyler suddenly seems to take on some energy. She glances towards the corridor behind you, the door on its end. Sure you have a plan, sleeper, because they do not want us locked in contractors getting out. You moves to the corridor. Your security in the shaft, then again at the pit head. We'll have to pass through the checkpoint at the entrance too. Doubt we can bypass all those. She turns back, grabs her food packet, smiles at you, and shepherds you towards the corridor. You could run a distraction maybe? Or a Sarah on that already. You're slightly taken aback by her sudden change. You're gonna have to... A blaring alarm sounds inside the habitation module, loud enough to wake the sleeping contractors with a start. You and Tala exchange glances. Surely this can't be for you. Tala rushes down the corridor and tears open the door at the far end, with you following close behind. The ice scatters, glistening in the interior light. The cavern is in chaos. You see dark-suited Lodic security wrestling with contractors, lit by flashing red alerts. More contractors are coming in through the door in the grill as you entered from, carrying bulky equipment. The equipment is blaring out a voice, Kirk's voice, echoing all around the cavern. A look of panic crosses Tala's voice. General strike is now in effect. All contractors should down tools, hold in place. Extraction will cease until our terms are met. Kirk's voice distorts and shifts. We have blockaded all traffic to and from Wellspring. We seek the resignation of the syndicate's leadership and for a new workers' council to be installed in its place. This cycle, we will shut down the shaft. Any worker not willing to strike should leave now. There's a screech of noise, and the message begins repeating. You watch as the security are pushed back towards the grill, outnumbered by the gathering workers. Paula looks at you for guidance. Now's our chance. Paula looks around the cavern, the red light reflecting in her wide eyes. She sighs. I need to stay. Won't abandon the others. What about Serpent? Yeah, my brother was happening. I'm not leaving until all of us are free. Paula backs away, glancing over her shoulder at the others. See them gathering their tools and taking them to be locked away in the HAB module. I need to see this through, Sleeper. You need to go. Find Seraphin. Do what you can from out there. Help us change this place. And with that, she turns and glides off towards the others. You turn and head for the grill, as quickly as you can, the way now cleared by contractors. A handful of Lodic security pushed back up to somewhere near the pit head. As you ascend, the other contractors shooting you dark looks as you go. You realize you have to speak with Kirk. You find Kirk at the pit head, directing contractors to barricade the entry points of the mine. So you took my advice. Good. Why am I suddenly shifting him to a southern voice? So you took my advice. Good. Kirk smiles. We're glad to have you as an ally here, Sleeper. You could have warned me. The entirety of Wellspring is at stake here. Kirk shakes his head. This is not about individuals. The syndicate was arrogant. They did not believe we could do this. Kirk gestures towards the contractors welding plating across the checkpoints. But we far outnumber them. Their monopoly ends here. Why do this now? The syndicate's monopoly over the belt's water supply has only been strengthened by the war. If we do not resist their exploitation now, it will be too late. Kirk leads you a little way away from the contractors. You want to free those like Seraphin's sisters. Seraphin's sisters? Sister, I will need your help. We have ships, but not many. And the syndicate still has tankers in operation. A blockade is not complete. The debris field between here and the far spindle remains open. We need another tanker to occupy it and dissuade the syndicate from trying to pass. All of our ships are in use. Your ship, your crew, would help us take a tanker and secure the blockade. Want me to storm a tanker? This will not be an assault. Kirk puts a hand on your shoulder. The tanker, the Headstream, has been held outside Wellspring for many cycles. The crew is tired and sympathetic to our cause. We'll just give them a nudge. Your ship will pose as an in-distress trader trapped inside the debris field. When the Headstream is obliged to rescue, we will board and encourage the crew to take control. Want to incite a mutiny? Trust me when I say that the captain does not deserve his charge. This is a liberation. Kirk folds his arms across his chest. Will you do it? Yeah. I knew you would. Glad to have you in our cause, Sleeper. Suddenly, Kirk puts two fingers in his mouth and blasts out a shrill whistle. The contractor quickly approaches with a large box, the front marked by screens and dials, and the back by loose cables. You will need this HAZNAV unit to navigate the debris field. He nods at the contractor. Jens here will install it in your ship. Consider it a gift from our cause to yours. He nods once more. Jens passes by you, heading for the lift to the docking ring with your new module. I will provide the Headstream's coordinates. He moves away towards the contractors, still working on the checkpoints. They will wait for your word. You leave the pit head behind, your mind racing. You do not know how you have ended up in the middle of all this, but you know it'll be up to you to pilot your way out. Sleeper! Seraphin comes up the passage towards you. What's happening? Are the pithead is being taken over by Kirk's guys? This, you realize, will take a lot of explaining. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. I need to get some supplies. Scrap. Supplies. We have some dice we can burn. No, there was nothing here. I thought there was something I could use my Hacker Man's skills on. Guess the closest is on hot water shift? Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and punch it to the Headstream. Oh, Kirk is coming with us. I thought he wasn't. Okay. Let's take Bliss to round us out, because I got hacking covered, so I don't think Junie will help. Plus, I don't know if Junie would really help in it. Whatever we need to do here.